All right, so quickly launching off with another Adventures Nexus game, playing Pathfinder. Uh, Sergeant Pennyworth is, of course, making a small call out to some recent rookies that have joined the elite squad, and he feels like this mission, although admittedly a little low end for what you guys should be worrying about, might be good practice. So let's introduce our two characters, starting with Dell.
Hi, I'm Del. I'll be playing Sukiya Nagayama. She's Oracle Kitsune, and she's mostly been spending the last few days with her little kobold companion trying to con money out of travelers by reading fortunes.
Right. I'll just figure you're done. My name's Sandra. I'm going to be playing Neri Dracalis. She's a wyvern or wyvern. I don't know. She is 7'8" tall, weighs a lot of weight, and weighs a lot. And she's really still feeling bad about what happened on the last mission. She kind of tries to make up for it, like by just being better. Yeah. Just by being like a better being and trying to prevent unnecessary death from happening, especially regarding her allies. So that's her.
All right, and they'll be accompanied by Frederick Mercenary, a human fighter who boasts a lot of physical strength and speed. Also part of the elite roster. He seems very capable and skilled in not only combat but several other areas that I don't believe these two are very strong at. So he will be accompanying them as part of this mission. You will both be doing whatever you feel like you'd be doing as your Adventures Nexus, which, as one of you said, was fortune telling. And Neri, what would you be doing while you were waiting for your next mission?
I would probably still be looking for Mara, trying to be helpful and a little bit sorry because, well, other than that, she will probably just well, she doesn't have really means to make money or anything, so she will probably just wait around and like lie on top of a tree and sleep most of the time or like talk to people, but nothing in particular.
Okay. And Frederick just trains for most of his downtime. So you guys will be doing your business, searching for people, deceiving people out of their money. When you'll both meet a just typical messenger, and he'll give you a letter before running off. And of course, it has the Adventures Nexus seal on it. And you open it and it tells you that Sergeant Pennyworth, who you guys recognize as his as the person who gives you work around here, he's requesting your presence.
Well, that comes in quite handy because I didn't feel it was appropriate the last time to ask him for this hero's pass or adventurer's pass or whatever it was because he was shouting at us a lot. So maybe this might be more appropriate. I should not forget about this. And she walks ahead to wherever he is at.
Suki turns to Makru and says, "Well, it looks like you might have to hold up the fort for a little while." And she hands him 2 gold and she's like, "Snazzy this up a little bit while I'm gone."
You got it, boss. So I don't see a fort nearby. Oh wait, I get it. Never mind.
And she pats him on the head and sort of skips off.
He kind of curls around it and inspects it for any immediate damage. Then he picks up the box and runs off with it. You two arrive at the Adventurer's Nexus, and Pennyworth is in his usual position waiting for you by the counter with 2 retainers, who seem to be secretaries of sorts.
Hello.
Hail Neri and Sugio.
Hello.
You asked for us somehow.
Did you say somehow?
No.
Right. Frederick should be along the way. I sent a messenger. He practices more than anyone else around here, so I gave him the details in his letter. Though you two, I'm more comfortable with briefing right away. He pulls out a clipboard, and he said, "You'll be returning to Elstradi Farms. With the recent downfall and crippling of the local kobolds, the work for minor labor has significantly decreased. With that, there's a need for adventurers to do some heavy labor.
Okay.
The mayor will speak to you more about it."
I'm sorry. Last time I went on a mission and that did not go very well. They asked for a pass, like a adventurous pass or something, or a passport. And I don't have that.
Oh, right. He says, "Wait a minute," and he starts flipping through. He puts down one clipboard and he pulls out the other one. He flips through it, and he's like, "Nary, there. You'd be right." And he puts the clipboard down, and he says, "I'll be back in a moment." And
All right.
And he's like, "Hold on a moment while I'm at this." He kind of looks over the clipboard again, and he's like, Frederick didn't get one either. He looks to Tsukio and he says, "I gave you one, correct?"
I didn't need one the last time I went to Elstradi Farm, but I don't know. I don't know if I still need one.
Do you have one? Is what I meant to ask.
Just out of character, I don't know. I know you gave us last time we were out of Elstradi Farm, you gave us like a purple card or something like that. I don't know if that's the same thing.
No.
Okay, then she probably does not.
He's like, "All right, I'll have to get you all one then, just in case you run into any trouble. I'll be back. Give me about 10 minutes." And
Right.
he walks away, and while he's away, Frederick meets with you, and he's not panting, but he's sweating.
Do you ever take showers?
What?
Um,
He looks at himself. Oh, right.
you know where you put water on yourself because you're dirty? Or, well, in your case, like sweating is what you call it?
He just stares at you, and he says, "Of all the human cultural stuff you picked up showering?"
Yeah. Because I figure that is something I don't do. And, well, you got to know what people around you do, you know? And you smell a bit. So I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that I thought my job was more important. I just got back from training, so.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Yeah, you're forgiven.
I wasn't.
I love this.
He just shakes his head and smirks, and he says, "Whatever. Let's just get this over with."
Yeah, he is getting the passes, that we didn't have last time, where we got the temporary ones. That's what I told him. So he's getting passports for us now.
Oh, those things? Right. I guess we do need them.
I don't know. Do we?
I don't think so. Not for the Elstradi farm, though I haven't been there yet.
Did he say what the label was that we're supposed to do? Or did he not tell you either? Because he just told us to go to the mayor.
That's all my letter said.
Oh.
So Sergeant Pennyworth eventually arrives, and he says, there we are. Everything should be in order now. And he gives all three of you a border pass. So after you receive your border pass, you flip it over and it has an image of you and has a basic information about you. And he says you'll be taking the northern gate this time around. I don't have the time to escort you this time around.
Okay.
So I will actually leave you in the supervision of Tibrin. And Tibrin the halfling shows up. He's wearing his banded male armor, and he's carrying his weapons on him. He says, "Oi, come on, let's go. We don't have all day." And then he thinks about it. He says, "Well, we kind of do, but I'd rather not."
Hey, Tibrin. How have you been?
Good. Just receiving a lot of flack from my superior officer. So.
Oh.
And Sergeant Pennyworth just grunts and leaves.
I was about to ask that because we got shouted at a lot for what happened last mission. Thank you so much for saving her. Still feel a little bad.
He says, it's no problem. Just don't let it happen again. Dying isn't exactly pleasant.
Oh, is it not? How is it? Have you died before?
On several occasions.
You died several times?
Yeah, but let's not talk about it. It's a kind of weird experience, and I'd rather not talk about it.
Oh, you can tell me all about it on our journey. You don't want to. Okay.
Well, I can't go with you this time.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll have to leave you with somebody else. They will be watching over you this time around.
Fair enough.
And he says, I will take you to the gate, though, so let's get going. And he starts walking ahead of you guys.
I think Neri still has a bow on her tail, by the way.
That's awesome.
Just saying. She still has it there.
It's a little worn out from being probably drifting on the ground a lot, but it's still there.
When Tibbs turns his back to us to lead us, Suki launches a spitball at him.
Okay. Roll me an attack roll just to see where you hit.
Okay, what do I add to that?
Dex in your base attack bonus.
Okay. So 15 to hit.
All right. So you shoot a spitball at him, and it doesn't hit him in the head or anything. It just hits him in his armor.
I hope he doesn't notice. There's just this grassy spitball, just it's slowly trailing down.
He doesn't really notice, though. When when you guys start walking through the more monstrous areas, you see this little, like, I would say like anteater like creature just walks over to it and just sucks it up. And he's like, hey, watch it.
Monsters are really forward over here.
And he says, yeah, they don't really care too much about us.
And Suki will just look to Neri and like sort of giggle behind her hand and like point.
Well, I'm assuming Neri saw that.
Yeah.
And she'll just chuckle too, like those two giggly women behind him.
With Frederick probably rolling his eyes.
He's trying not to laugh. Tiburon is kind of just taking a defensive stance with that anteater like creature just staying behind him. He's like, he looks back at it and it just casually walks away. Like, it seems satisfied with what it just did. And he's like, monsters. And he keeps going. You arrive at the gate, and the iron golem doesn't take notice of him at first. And he's like, hey, look down here. And the golem still doesn't notice him. So he picks up this like rock and throws it at it. And it just tings off of the iron, and it looks down on him. And he's like, shows him the hand signals. And the iron golem opens the door, and the blinding light appears. You two are level 2, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So before, when you encountered this door, it was utterly blinding. You could not see what was on the other side of it. Though now that you feel yourself growing, you kind of start noticing that the blinding light isn't all encompassing anymore, and you do see specks of what's on the other side. It's not enough to make out anything on the other side, but you do notice these little specks of like green and like patches of buildings, rather than just being completely blinded.
Is it just me, or is this not quite as bright as it was before?
The portal?
Yeah.
I don't
Seems
know.
like I can make stuff out.
I don't know.
Frederick just scratches the back of his head and he says, I don't know. It's still all blinding to me.
Maybe it's because of the passes. Hey, maybe they're magical. Let me check. She uses detect magic on them.
You use protect magic.
No, detect.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of magical stuff around here.
No, in the passes, because she thinks that the passes that they got had something to do with this.
Nope.
Oh, no, it's not the passes.
Passes are not magical.
They're just paper, really. I think. So, it's not that.
Maybe you and I are just more enlightened.
Maybe your eyes got better, and mine too. Frederick's not so much.
Frederick just gives you guys this annoyed look. Tiburon says,
it's gonna be so much fun.
Tiburon says it's actually something to do with your soul. Kind of hard to believe, but the more adventuring you do and the more heroing you do, it's supposed to bolster your soul and make it stronger. Something determination makes you more resistant to this kind of stuff. I don't get it.
You are so wise.
Did you hear that, Neri? We're soul sisters.
Oh, does that mean we're related?
Well, obviously, we both are able to see it at the same time. There's a connection between us.
I always wanted a sister. I'm going to call you my sister now.
Tiburon pulls out a notepad and he's like, You see him drawing on it, and then he's like, all right, so the first thing I think of is this, and then he just shows you a picture of a little fox and and that's all poorly drawn, just a fox and a dragon, and he just makes this little plus sign and points and makes like little poorly drawn representations of you two, and he's like, I don't think that's really how it works. No, no, doesn't work like that. He says, I'll figure it out, and he puts it away.
You never know. You know, there's a lot of secrets in this world, so it might as well be true.
Tibrin
always
just
stepping through.
smiles, and he's like, right. And he says, well, yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, unless you can't get through because you're too bulky, you know?
I can always drop down.
Well, then go through.
Well, she goes through.
So you go through, and you step through the light, and yeah, it just feels like walking through like a wall of water, just a thin layer of water, and you're on the other side. It's actually nighttime here, and the night is starry. And you do see that instead of the normal like gatekeeper that was here, who seemed to be just this mysterious mage of sorts, you notice at this time it's just another adventurer. He seems to be the cavalier that you were talking to before when you were here. He's riding a horse still.
Well, after coming through, Navy will like blink like a million times because she just started into light and now it's nighttime, so adjusting her vision a bit and waiting for Sukia and Frederick.
Suki will, when she sees Neri go through, she'll spin around, grab Frederick's hand, and start pulling him backwards into into the light.
Yeah, you grab his wrist and you start pulling him in, and you at first when you try to pull him in, he doesn't move because I'm assuming you're not nearly as strong as him.
Probably not.
What's your strength?
20.
Okay, he's actually, I mean, he's significantly stronger than you at 24. But you pull on him and he budges a bit, but he doesn't go with you right away. And Tibrin just laughs as you pull him ahead this time, and he just lets you pull him along. And he's just like, ugh. And you go through the other end, and you both step inside, and unlike the bright light that the Nexus was in, it's now suddenly really dark, and it seems to be nighttime. The first thing all three of you notice, obviously, is the cavalier riding his horse. He's in full armor, holding a lance and a shield. He's got a sword on his side and a crossbow on his back. He is watching you three, and he says, "Hail."
Hi. Hello. Hail. How are you?
Doing well. Are you the adventurers I'm waiting for?
Yes, and she like lifts her leg and like shows the anklet with the Adventurous Nexus thing.
He says, "Well, I didn't realize you were so limber, but avoiding that, you are requested to go to the mayor's house. Do you remember where that is?"
Do we roll on this, or do we just say yes or no?
That's really up to you.
I would assume I would remember because I flew over this place.
Okay. So you tell him yes, and he says, "Then I will remain here. if you need any help or need any guidance or instruction, I'll be here.
What's your name again?
The Cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Jeff. Jeff the Cavalier.
Thank you so much, Jeff. My name is Neri. This is Sukio, and this is Frederick. And we'll be on our way. And she like just crawls ahead like on her forearms.
Now I have to give him a bear mount. Anyways. So you guys head to the mayor's house, and even though it's nighttime, he is actually waiting for you. You see that none of his servants are around, and he's just standing there. You recognize him by his obviously good looks, although not really comparable to either of you, though he looks a little better than Frederick. He, of course, since he just finished training and he's just sweaty and gross. The mayor is well dressed, even in the night. He's just holding this lamp, and he does seem to have some sort of casting materials on him, but that's all he seems to be carrying. And he says, "Hello, adventurers." And he curtsies to the two of you. And when Frederick kind of comes around the corner a little behind you guys, because he was trying to look at some other things, but then fell behind, he catches up, and the mayor takes a very evident waft of his presence, and he's like, "And you?"
We're sorry for his smell. He doesn't shower.
We already told him so, but well, he said his job is priority.
Just growls at you. He's like, "I just got out of training. There was no time."
Good evening, good sir. You have summoned us here for a reason that you're about to tell us, probably, maybe.
Oh yes, I actually need help with something that I can't really be bothered to ask any of the other workers. As you two know, at the very least, we had some troubles with the kobolds, and they had I would call it a civil war amongst themselves, but of course it's quite small scale since it just all happened in one night at the warehouse. So since they are rebuilding their home, and of course they severely destroyed their own numbers, we've been forced to get help from elsewhere, and we decided that we would make a list for some adventurers to do rather than overburdening our own workers.
That sounds fair.
Right. So, unfortunately, I don't really know much about what is needed. However, I have informed a council of such things, and they will talk to you on their own behalf. They will tell you certain things, and I have provided a cart and wagon for you to use to help you meet their demands.
Oh, thank you.
It's already prepared to go, so you just have to go talk to them.
Do we go now? I mean, don't you sleep at night?
He says yes, but this is far more important than just anything.
What do you say about this, sister?
Suki, while you've been talking, has been sort of like poking through the mayor's stuff, and when she turns back around, she looks entirely like the mayor because she just cast disguise stuff on herself. And if he's not looking at her, she's gonna be like subtly like trying to like mock him and like Do any hand motions he's doing and looking very stern and
So when he realizes you're poking through his stuff, he just kind of swats you away, like, "Shoo, get out of here!" And he says, "Well, if you're done looking through my things, please follow me. I will take you to the antechamber of the ancients."
What?
Just follow me.
Oh.
yes, follow me. Oh, yes.
This is so funny. You're really a good mayor, you know that? You should be mayor.
Oh, thank you. I am.
Can you do Frederick?
Frederick's like, "Please don't."
Oh, don't worry, Frederick. I promise it's painless.
He's obviously a little nervous about how you're going to interpret him. The mayor just kind of rubs his head and he's like, "Do I really sound like that?"
A little bit, but it's not bad at all. You're still a very, very handsome person. The voice is a little off, but you're still very elegant, if that helps you. I don't know where to go from here.
Thanks. So he leads you into this room, and you see these 4 statues in this semicircled room. The room is about 30 feet in length, and in the center of it is an orb. He touches the orb, and when he does so, he speaks a command word into it, and the room lights up, and you see this silver lining of energy just reach out to the statues. And as soon as it does so, you see the lights gather onto the statues, the 4 statues, and they begin to not only slowly manifest and shake, and you start hearing voices coming from them, and the three statues, as they start animating, start greeting you like, "Hail, traveler. Hello, adventurer. Greetings." But the 4th statue is snoring.
I poke it.
You poke it and you don't feel anything. Though you do hear somebody, like a voice that doesn't sound like the voices sound old from the other 3. The 4th one, on the other hand, you just hear this young voice come through first, and it says, "Master, I think you're supposed to be awake now." "Master?" And he shakes him, and he's like, "Huh? What? Huh? Oh, are they here?" "Yeah, I think they're here." "Greetings!" And the other statue, you can feel the other statue glaring at him. He says, "That was my line." Oh, this is embarrassing.
Say good evening. Something.
Oh, right. Yes. Good evening.
Good job.
Wait, it's nighttime.
Good night.
Good night. And he's like, it's obvious that whoever's on the other end of the statue is gone like senile. And he's like, "I guess I'm going to bed now." And the servant's like, No, you have to. This is part of what you were supposed to do. He's like, "Oh, right. Oh, yes, this is what I was doing." and you just feel like this kind of like weak dread kind of come from the other three statues. And the one statue closer to the center, the male voice, he says, "Welcome to the trial of the ancients."
Hi. Suki, did you know that we were going to go into a trial?
Still looking like the mayor. She's gonna clap her hands together excitedly and be like, "Oh, a trial! It sounds so fun."
So
I mean the mayor.
The other three are not like the mayor says, "Well, good luck. I need to sleep." And he leaves you three behind.
Good night.
And of course, the other three statues who are quite sane and know what's going on, are aware of what's happening. They know that you're not the mayor. But the other statue, the obviously senile one, he's kind of confused. You hear him audibly talking about it with his servant. He's like, "I didn't realize there was two mayors." The servant's like, there's not two mayors. That one's just using magic to disguise herself." And he's like, "How do you know that? What if the other one's fake?" And it just goes on about that, and he's like, "Oh, that makes sense. It would make sense that their magical energies were different." Right. And the leading male statue says, "Enough. Let's get started with this."
Excuse me, can I ask a question, dear very good looking statues and also a little bit terrifying? Why are we doing this again? Like, we weren't informed about a trial.
You'll be doing a great service to this town by performing our trial.
Okay. That's enough information for me. Let's do it then, shall we? Frederick?
Frederick
Suki?
just scratches the back of his head and he's like, "Right."
Yes, adventurers, we should definitely take this on.
Oh, you're definitely right, Sir Mayor.
The more humble male statue on the very right side of the room, he says, "First, you will have to gather us a large amount of water." And he will open up this. You see this pillar, this small, like, I wouldn't say pillar. It's just a pedestal, rises up. It's about 4 feet tall, and on it is just this small little clay jar. He says, "Fill this with water until it can no longer be filled, and put the cork on it. Return it to us when it is completely full."
Is that it?
Indeed.
Well, where's the next water source then?
Says you will find the water source near the river, or you can go to the base of the mountain.
What say you, dear Mayor?
This is a most onerous task, but I have complete faith that you, the adventurers from the Adventurers Nexus, with my help, can conquer this horribly difficult trial.
You are so brave.
Yes, I am.
Patrick is just so annoyed right now. He's like, by Moradin's beard, he just walks over and he just more like snatches the clay jar. It doesn't seem too heavy at the moment. And he says, "Let's just get this over with."
Oh, and when we get to the water, Frederick might even be able to take a shower.
The first statue just kind of like, they all not visibly shiver except for the senile one. They're like, do that after.
Oh, right. Right. See, they can smell it too.
The female statue says, next, we will be needing these special herbs. It should be easy for you all to find and gather, as they are local herbs from the forest. And in this one pedestal, you see this scroll casing just kind of rise up from the ground.
I'll walk up and take the scroll. I like scrolls.
Okay. You look it over, and there's not too many special ones. The more complicated ones are just seemingly medicinal herbs, though many of these are just herbs that you might use just to flavor food.
We will do this for you, mysterious statues, and gather your drugs.
So motivational. So inspiring.
The third one says, my trial will be a trial of blood. You will go out and you will hunt beasts for us. Once you have slain at least 100 pounds of meat, then you may return and complete this trial.
Any meat?
We would prefer animal meat.
Well, yeah, I know. But, like, do you have a specific range of beasts? Or just any?
Any, though we would appreciate if you didn't kill the local livestock.
Worry not, statues. We will beat this meat for you.
Frederick just lets out this defeated sigh.
Mary would not have gotten that, I think, but still. But I really wonder why statues need meat. I mean, they can't even eat it, can they?
And the fourth one, you start hearing some light snoring again, and you hear, Master, you gotta wake up. He's like, huh? Yeah? Right. You see him actually flipping through paper. And he's like, yes, we talked about the trials, and oh yes, I didn't put down a trial.
That's
You
all
will
right.
have to perform a trial of heroism. He starts looking through you see him going through some papers, perhaps looking for inspiration. He's like, yes, you have to slay a local dragon.
No.
And he says, he's like, just leans in, and it's like, Master, they're not here for that. Oh, they're not. And he says, what are they here for again? Oh, right. Right.
This guy doesn't really know what he's doing, right? Is he like tired?
Look, I've been a statue for nearly 100 years. Do you mind?
Mind what?
Gods. It's like I haven't been able to move for like 30 years or something.
I'm sorry.
Right. Let me see. Okay. You'll have to perform a trial of, I don't know, wood. Bring back some lumber. cut down a tree. I don't care. Just something.
Well, brave adventurers, I think it is time we set out on our journey to complete the shopping.
Inspiring.
The other statue's thoroughly embarrassed and not able to continue the ruse anymore. The one kind of leading them, he says, just meet us at this address in the morning, and we'll see you there.
I thought you couldn't move.
We're animate statues.
Oh, well, then it's a good thing you gave us this quest, and you can move tomorrow again. And she's talking to the guy that was complaining to the senile one.
So, in the statues are kind of like awkwardly waiting, and then he says, and the lead one is just sighs, and he's like, we shouldn't have let the one that can barely understand what's going on in charge of deactivating us. And then you just hear, Master, you gotta turn off the statues. He's like, oh yes, the button, yes. And he hits it, and then his statue crumbles onto like dust, and the other three are just like, oh, that's another 1,000 gold. Well, you're free to leave whenever you like.
Do they hold torches or something?
No.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Well, seems like we know what we've got to do. And Mayor, shall we get going?
Oh, we shall.
All right.
And we'll leave.
So it is still nighttime. You can head out if you so wish to do that, or you can choose to rest the night and wait until day.
I have low light vision. I don't know if anybody else has.
I do.
And then I also have dancing lights that I can throw up.
Well,
And I can make basically fire everywhere.
It is starlight, so with low light vision, you can see as if it was daytime.
Can Frederick see?
I'm good.
Frederick cannot see.
Frederick can hold my tail. I'll guide him.
Yeah, I also have a lantern staff, so I can light that as well for him.
Oh, like a true adventurer.
Ah.
He has a bullseye lantern, but if you're going to use your lantern staff, that means he can use his lucerne.
Yeah.
So he just shrugs and he says, I guess we'll continue on at night then. And
Yeah.
I'll be back. Let's take a quick bathroom break, and then we'll complete the trials of the ancient.
Yeah, the shopping list.
Everybody to Costco.
Oh my god.
Hey, I didn't say that the trials were going to be dangerous. And they are ancient. You're right back.
All right.
My gird. So Frederick's thoroughly annoyed.
Yeah, that's sort of a common thing around Suki. She's kind of an asshole.
He's not adverse to bludgeoning you unconscious.
Have to find me first.
Wouldn't be that hard. All I have to follow is that trail of assholery.
Just a trail of spitballs behind her.
Just helpless victims.
Yeah. Like her best skill is bluff, and she has a plus 17 to it.
Oh my god, you forgot to tie your shoe. I don't even wear shoes. Wait, I don't even have feet.
Like, yeah, you told me if I gave you this, you were gonna give me 100 gold. What? No, I didn't. It's like, yeah, no, you did. Oh, I actually did. Damn, sorry.
Fuck. All right. You back yet? Ah.
I'm back.
Okay. So, where do you three head off to do first?
Well, I'm all about. I think the word is chronologic, something. The way we got it, basically. So
Okay.
we can do water first. And while we're going to the water, we'll probably find herbs and then maybe meat, and we can all do that simultaneously, basically.
Okay. So, do any of you have survival?
Rain? No.
Nope.
God. So, ironically enough, the only person who has survival is the guy you've been harassing.
Technically, she hasn't been harassing him. She's
No.
just been annoying.
Yeah. We weren't really mean.
Okay. So, actually, it's pretty easy. So, he just tells you what to look for. He rolled a 17 on his survival for finding the random herbs that you need. So you guys spend most of your time on the way there gathering small herbs and putting them in baskets that have been provided to you with the wagon. Do any of you have animal?
Yep. No, not trained. It's on my list. But I'm really good at it because it's charisma based.
What's your bonus?
7.
Okay, so Either you or him can drive the wagon, though the animal is kind of intimidated by you, the horse.
Well, I let him. I let him handle the thing, and oh, I have an idea. Maybe I can fly up and see where the water is, and then I can pinpoint the location where we are supposed to go. No?
I mean, he already knows where to go. So.
Oh, fair enough.
So, you just basically follow his lead, and it takes you 3 hours to get to the base of the mountain, which is simple enough because, well, the base you can easily see the mountain even at nighttime. It not only casts a large shadow that's easy to find, but you can see its outline in the darkness. So you arrive there, and it doesn't take long for him to find water. He just follows where the moss takes him. And eventually you find this small body of water. He's looking it over and he says, "All right, should be no problem, right?" He pulls out the little jug and he puts it in the water, and it just starts filling and filling and filling. And he's since you two aren't holding it, you see that he's actually getting quite strained, and he has to actually like step into the water and like walk with the water as it actually rapidly drains.
I'm going to wrap an arm around him and try to pull him like backwards or help him holding like as best as I can.
Okay, after a while, you actually have to put in a lot of effort. It's really heavy now, and you've drained this body of water. And between the both of you, you're both carrying this small object that weighs at least 150 pounds now. Sorry, it's 150 pounds that you are carrying between the both of you, it is 300.
What's my carrying capacity? Okay, well.
Good question.
So for strength score, no, that's just okay. So that's just different loads: light load, medium, and heavy. And
Yeah.
307 to 460 would be heavy for my character, and for Frederick, 467 until 700 pounds would be a heavy load, and medium would be 234 until 466. But that includes also his body weight and his equipment.
It doesn't include body weight. It just includes equipment.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, then his equipment.
So you're helping him out, and he's only at his medium load. So he
could carry it, yeah.
He just huffs it up to his waist, and he's like, "Oh, this thing is heavy."
Well,
Well, good thing.
While
Go
they're
ahead.
doing that, I'm just at the horse and like braiding flowers into its hair. I'm like, "You guys got this. You're doing wonderfully. Oh, put your back into it, Frederick."
He grunts and he says, "Well, kind of need my hands to use my weapon." He tries to put it in his belt pouch, but it just tears through the belt pouch and lands on the ground. He's like, "Fucking shit."
Good thing you were working out before you came here. I mean, the shower would not have helped. Yeah.
We do have a wagon, Frederick, if you wanted to put it there.
Right.
Braiding.
He reluctantly agrees, mostly because he just doesn't like you. And he carries it over and puts it in to the wagon. It takes up a small amount of space, but you can hear like the vehicle creak. And he's like, oh, well, I guess while we're here, he goes back into the water and he just dives in, then comes back out and shakes off the water.
Oh, wow. Well, that was a good idea. You smell a lot better now.
He says, I guess I must be used to the smell. I can't really smell the difference.
Well, that might be for the better.
I mean, it mostly, you can't smell the difference because it hasn't really changed. Now you just smell wet as well. Would you like to borrow a bar of soap?
Do you really want to sit here and watch me bathe?
Sure, we have time. Go ahead.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Of course you two would. Whatever, fine. He actually does have a bar soap. He pulls one out.
Well, that's the
Never
one
been
he's
used.
never. Yes, that's the one he's never used before.
And he takes off his. He doesn't even have armor, so he just takes off his traveler's outfit and pulls his cloak down and his weapons, which is a longsword, his lucerne hammer, his longbow, and his wooden shield. Just strips down completely, and he goes into the water.
Don't forget the armpits.
So you guys just watch him, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, first thing you guys will notice is that he's got a lot of, well, besides his genitalia, which I'm sure you guys are observing, he's got a lot of scars over his body, and they're old, so they must have been before he came here to the Adventurers Nexus.
How aware is he of us while he's bathing? Is he trying to ignore us?
Not really. He's not. I wouldn't say he's comfortable with it, but he's not making any attempts to hide himself.
Okay. Is he like looking at us though, or is he looking away?
I mean, he's looking in your general direction.
Please
You guys
disguise
feel-
yourself.
Unless you're standing near the edge of the water, he's not gonna see you.
Can I get close enough to his shield?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I want to taking like while we were sort of like gathering herbs and stuff, I gathered like a couple of berries and stuff, and I want to draw like I want to draw what I see of him onto his shield with the berry juice. And stuff.
So you want to draw him on his own shield.
Well, just certain parts of him.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay, well, roll me perception first to see how much you actually see.
I may or may not have rolled a natural 20.
Okay, what's your total?
Perception. What do I get here? So that's 26.
Okay, so
You can see his
His,
birthmarks.
I don't know how your character's how familiar you are with male genitalia of the human variety, but it's a pretty long creature. And so you look at it and you draw this using the berry juice. You have to actually kind of go around the shield a bit. if you're going for accuracy.
I want it to be completely accurate, but at the very tip, I want to draw a smiley face.
So,
Oh man, he's gonna get a -5 on intimidation with this shield.
roll only a sleight of hand.
Let's see. Get for bonus. 16.
Okay, so you managed to complete most of it, but when he finally gets out after about 10 minutes.
Oh, I
And-
wanted to do something still while she was doing that.
Oh, okay. What are you doing?
I wanted to turn around and splash him with water with my feet, like a dog. Because I'm standing like straight at the corner of the thing, and I'm watching.
Okay.
Because I don't know privacy, really.
You splash him, and he doesn't seem to be too bothered by it.
Like there's gonna be a whole fountain. Just
Well, you putting your whole ass in there? What?
no, no, I don't like water.
So you just kick your feet at him, and
Yeah.
it splashes him, and it covers him. But
Okay.
he doesn't seem too bothered by it. He just kind of gives you a look, and he's like, "Really?"
Yep. Well, you don't smell anymore.
No.
Not bad.
He just smells like, soap. It's not special brand or anything. It doesn't have any particular scent. He just smells clean.
You should do this more often.
Yeah, I should do it more often. And then he kind of looks at, like, he gets out. Are you leaving? So that bought you enough time to complete the berry penis.
I did that.
I'm moving away from it with the lantern, so I'm hoping he doesn't see it yet in the dark.
So he goes up to it, and he dries himself off. And his clothes are still a little damp, but he puts them on anyways. And he starts putting on his equipment, and he doesn't take any notice to it. He can't see it.
I'm gonna say that Neri didn't know what you were doing because she was like too busy like commenting on how like spaces say he missed and being annoying basically.
Suzuki's just really proud of herself and like, but doesn't like giggle or anything. You can just see she's holding her head up a little bit higher, and she's like, "Well, now that we've got you all nice and clean, let's go and finish these trials."
Right. Now that we got water done, we can gather some herbs.
You already done that task.
We've done that task already, so let's gather meat. Or wood. Well, we're in a forest. Might as well get a tree from here, right?
Sure. Did any of you bring an axe?
No, I can I not just tear it down here?
If you want to start a fire, yeah.
No.
We got lots of water now. I do not have an axe. I have a staff and a crossbow.
I have a morning star. I guess I can just cut it down with a morning star.
It takes like 3 hours to bludgeon it to the ground.
I'll knock it down with spitballs.
So, after realizing that none of you actually have like a proper cutting tool, he's like, "Well, I guess I could go use my long sword."
That's a good idea. That's sharp.
That would be wonderful. Frederick, get wood for us.
He's like, yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. And then he thinks about it. And he's like, you do mean lumber, right?
Of course. What else would I mean?
Right.
Wait, what else would she mean?
He just kind of gives Nary a look like, really?
Yeah.
Right. And he pulls out his longsword and he starts finding some select trees and he just starts swinging at them. And some of them go down in one blow, some of them take two. But he does end up cutting down a lot of trees. I dropped my D8. I was rolling for damage. Although, while he's cutting down the trees, you do hear him complain. You know, I've been doing all this work for everyone. It's kind of annoying.
Well, I can help. I can actually not do anything here. I cannot help because if I help, the forest will burn down.
How do you define helping people, Nary?
Hmm,
How come I feel like I don't want you to answer that?
I don't know, but maybe you should have taken that bath after. How you don't slay trees after? What's the word? I don't know. What's the word for you don't knock trees down? What's the word? Cutting trees down. There we go. That was totally Sandra.
He just slumps over and he's tired of this already. He's like, oh.
An elite adventure.
God, this is so embarrassing. I'm sorry.
All right. So he's like, can you at least help me put the trees inside?
Yep. And she starts carrying them, like with an arm and her tail.
All right. So the three of you start putting in these large trees. He cuts the branches off. And you feel like you've got a lot. Most of the cart is full of this stuff. Well, most of the wagon is full of these long trees.
Sukio, in an attempt to actually be helpful, will grab hold of Frederick's sword and cast mending on it, just so that it hopefully gets resharpened from doing all that cutting. Because I'm assuming that would have dulled it pretty quick.
Is that a cantrip?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that 1 round cast or is it 1 minute?
I believe it's 1 round. Let me double check though.
Mending is I didn't write that down. Fuck. Instantaneous.
Yep, instant.
Okay. So yeah, you just keep going over the sword and it starts removing all the little nicks and starts getting sharpened again back to its previous form. And he doesn't really notice because he kind of just left it on the side after he was cutting down trees and moving over. But after he does eventually pick it up and look it over, and you can see that he was kind of lamenting doing so, but then he looks it over and you can see he slides his hand across it and he's like, huh, that's actually pretty neat. He says, I guess I don't have to see that smith now. And he sheaths it. And you can see he's a little confused. And he looks at you and looks at Neri and he's like, all right, one of you did it.
Suki will wave at him, and her hand is just covered in blood because she kept just gripping the actual sword portion to the blade portion whenever she casts mending. So her hand is just covered in blood.
He can't see that far, so in that detail. So he's like, he sees you waving, but he doesn't see the blood, and he's like, he kind of gives this weird, like, not sure if he's certain smile, but kind of he's not really sure what you're doing, but he just waves back at you, even though you're maybe about 15 feet from him.
He thinks it's a prank. This is fake, right? Something's bad gonna happen. Well, Neri will gasp because she sees like the blood, and she's like, "You hurt your hand."
You have dark vision, right?
Yeah, and low light vision.
Oh, and low light. Okay, you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured because you said like I could see as in daylight because it's starry.
Okay.
So she's saying like, "Do you hurt your hand?"
And she kind of like turns it over and looks at it, and she's like, "Oh, no, it's fine." And she just sort of like rubs it on the bottom of her dress where there's already like where it starts like turning pink. And you get the feeling that she's done stuff like that before and just like absently wiped blood down there, and that's why it's changed.
Well, okay. Or if you're not in pain, then we can probably move along. We've got everything. We've got water, the herbs. We got wood. Frederick is clean and not smelly anymore. Oh yeah, the meat. We need meat. Beast meat. Not livestock meat. Meat.
Frederick says, "I'm not sacrificing myself, so we better find something."
The mayor said not livestock. So I guess we can't use that.
Okay, just gonna ignore the joke he made. That's fine. So while he gets off and he tells you, "God damn it, no!"
Sorry.
Gets off the wagon, and he lets Neri take the reins of the horse as he starts looking for tracks, and he says, "I think I found something. It's a pretty large animal. Should be something that we can handle, though. Hopefully."
All right. Is it far?
And all right. So you guys follow along, and he eventually tells you guys to leave the horse here. And so you tie up the horse and you all jump off and you start following him around.
Okay, if we're getting closer, I'm sorry. If we're getting closer, Nair will cast Mage Armor on herself.
You can cast Mage Armor on anyone else.
What?
You can cast Mage Armor on other people.
Really?
Yes.
Who's got the lowest AC here? Like, just from
Me.
equipment looks, basically.
You're all wearing clothing.
I
Well,
don't think any of us are wearing armor.
well, Nair's not really. But, what's Suki's AC?
15.
God damn it.
So yeah, like
Well, then you're gonna get Mage Armor.
yeah, like I guess the only thing that I can say is that out of everyone, Frederick is wearing the heaviest looking clothing.
Well, then, again, like, she will cast Mage Armor on Suki. And you get +4 AC for an hour.
Ooh, nice.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
All right, so I guess gotta roll this thing's perception. And oh dang. So you guys are walking about. Roll me perception checks.
23.
Okay.
P. Perception 4. 7.
Okay. So, Neri, or not Neri, Tsukio, you're walking behind Frederick, and he's tracking something. When you hear loud, well, what you hear is loud, with your keen hearing, is loud steps. But everyone else doesn't appear to hear the noise. They hear
I'm
it.
just humming.
They kind of just hear the noises of the night. But you hear these kind of loud crunching noises. It doesn't sound like hoofs, but it sounds like large paws. And they're not far away. They're about maybe 20 feet.
Neri's humming.
Tsukio kind of stopped and looked to the others and was like, something creeps on silent paws. We're not alone.
What is it? Who is it? Where?
Not very far away now.
Well, I don't know.
So, do you point it out?
Yeah. I point out that sort of the direction that I heard it from and tell them it's not very far away at all.
And your lantern is lit?
Yes, it is.
All right, that's good. So, with your lantern, you kind of point out the direction that you hear it from. Mairi, so when you point it out, you see this large, what looks like brown object heading your way. It's more like light brown, but it's heavy and large.
Do we get an action before that happens, or do we go into initiative?
No, because her action is to point it out. And so you guys will be seeing it. And as you all kind of now are looking over, Neri, you do see this object as well. It's bigger than you, and it's lumbering towards you. And now everyone can roll initiative.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ.
I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
So you go first. You see this large brown object heading towards you. It's bigger than you.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. There we go. And it's within 20 feet, you said?
Yep.
And we're still in a forest?
Yep.
Fuck. Well, in that case, I am going to cast Elemental Ray, which is a 30 feet range touch attack, and deals 1d6 lightning, but I don't know how to do that. What do I roll for that?
It's an attack roll, a ranged touch attack. So you add your dexterity as well as your base attack bonus, which
Okay.
should just be +1 since you're level 2.
Okay. Oh no, that's gonna be 13.
So you reach out. Oh, it's a ranged touch attack. So you actually reach out, and it's not hard to aim for this creature, and you just aim your electricity towards it, and it arcs out, and you hear this loud snap as it hits whatever you're aiming at.
Oh.
Roll for damage.
What? I hit it? I thought I
Yeah.
hit the tree.
No.
That's cool. 5 lightning.
All right. You hear this loud, and it's seems pretty annoyed.
And she's like, go away, leave us alone. We're not here to hurt you. Shoo.
Frederick kind of Frederick's turn. He pulls out his Lucerne and he says, "Actually, that's the exact opposite reason of why we're here."
All right.
And he runs over and he attacks it, and he hits it, and it's got to make checks, and he actually ends up tripping the bear. Holy shit, that bear is having a bad day. So he hits the bear in the leg. So he just sweeps through and this bush just gets demolished as he just dealt 19 damage.
Oh, wow.
And that bear, you hear like a crack, and this large object just fall over. And as soon as what you can now easily tell now is a large brown bear, is standing in front of you. He brings it down again with using his improved trip feature. And he hits it again, dealing 12 damage, and just smashes its snout. And it's looking very exhausted and hurt now, as it seems to be very greatly wounded. It gets up, and it's obviously having difficulties as it kind of groans in pain as it manages to push itself up even through the injured leg. And it moves forward to attack Frederick, but provokes another attack from him using the range from his Lucerne. He gets smashed again. And with that, the bear goes down. This third hit, the Lucerne digs into its head and just cracks its skull, and it stands there for a moment, and then its injured leg gives out and it just falls over.
Well, that was easy. Good job, Frederick.
The brown bear didn't even get this fucking attack. This combo is so fucking harsh in a one-on-one duel. So the brown bear is now defeated.
In hindsight, like all the 4 quests that we had, that was all Frederick.
At least for combat. With the defeat of the brown bear, you all gain 400 experience. Frederick, obviously a little tired, not exhausted, but just a little fatigued. He says, now we have to drag this thing back.
Well, we do have a cart.
He says, I know that, but we still have to drag it to the cart.
Oh, that's fine. We can do it. And she like wrap her tail around and try to pull it.
On your own, it's
Yep.
really heavy. Like,
Well, she's still trying. So it's dragging. I think dragging is different than carrying.
well, between you and him, you're carrying it.
Oh.
So you managed to bring it back to the cart, and this thing obviously weighs a lot. And between everything that you have already, it's definite burden on the wagon.
Poor horse.
The horse, obviously having difficulties, is pulling it through the woods. Frederick actually decides to get out and help push from the other ends, which alleviates some of the weight.
Nehru will hop off the wagon. Maybe that will help too.
Yeah, considering you weigh almost 300 pounds too. So, with the two of you walking off beside the wagon instead of on it, and Frederick pushing from behind, the horse seems to be moving a lot better now. Which leaves Neri. Why don't you roll me a survival check?
You sure? Okay. Well, here goes.
Sorry, I meant
16.
yeah, Neri and Tsukio. You both roll it because Frederick did.
Survival?
Yeah.
21.
Wow.
Okay, so you both know the way back, and you don't get lost.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty easy to follow the wagon tracks.
So it takes us another 3 hours or longer to get there.
Probably longer, I would assume.
Yeah.
Frederick's going to need another bath after this.
Yes, he does. Good thing we brought the water.
Okay. So, Tsukio, what's your stealth?
My stealth bonus?
Yes.
10.
Okay. Roll me a perception check. At -10.
Oh.
So that would be 2. I rolled a 12, so minus 10.
Okay, that still works. The one of them crit failed.
You win.
So you're listening to just the night noises. You and Neri are enjoying your just a light conversation, just kind of keeping quiet. And you just this is the only in the far distance away, really far away. You just suddenly hear this guy go, "So we're gonna mug them when they get back, right?" You don't hear anyone else, just this one guy's side conversation, and he's just like, "I am being quiet."
So stupid.
Fucking roll a 1.
That's amazing.
So
And you had a -10. That's so awesome.
So you're not sure if they're talking about you, but being what you have dragging with you, that might be the case.
Oh wow. Are you telling me this?
I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Mary, did you know there's some muggers up ahead?
No, I did not. Like, are they, like, do they want to steal our wood?
I mean, we do have some pretty big wood.
Yeah, and a lot of meat.
Yeah. And then we also have Frederick.
Yeah. Do they want to steal Frederick? Do you think so?
Who knows what these ruffians want to do?
He's been a pretty fucking valuable commodity so far.
I know.
I'm gonna cast Haunted Fae aspect, which is a cantrip and lasts for a round. So I'm just constantly casting this basically. And just have like really creepy looking Fae dancing around the cart trying to scare him off, really. Like they're Just dancing around the car, looking like ghosts or whatever. Maybe this will scare them away.
Well, you can only target yourself with it.
Oh, really? Well, then they're dancing around me.
And it does not do what you think it does.
I know. I don't care.
Okay.
I want to use this cantrip.
So you can continue on and just deal with the combat, or you can take an alternative path.
I'll hop down off the cart and go back to Frederick and be like, Frederick, do you still want to kill things?
You get back there and he's back to sweating and being exhausted, and he's like, what?
There's some gentlemen waiting up ahead to steal our shit. Did you want to fight them? You look like you could use some killing.
He just looks at you silently like, I mean, we could. I'm pretty tired, but I mean, like, a good fight might go a long way.
Mary comes back too, and she has like those tiny fake ghost thingies around her, and they're like pulling faces at Frederick.
He's like, he doesn't see you immediately first. He hears you walking behind him, and he turns around. And he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And then he sees you. And when you walk around the corner, he pulls out his lucerne and points it at you. But he's like, "Oh, it's you."
Yeah, that's just me and my magic, and I'm trying to defend us, be useful, you know. And
Oh.
are we gonna fight?
Are we? He's confused now. He's looking at the two of you back and forth.
Suki will pat him on the arm and be like, you know what? I've got a plan. And she's going to go back to the front of the car.
How long have we been traveling for? Ever since the bear fight is my question.
It's been about 2 hours.
Okay, well then, if like when we approach him, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor again on, Suki.
Yeah, it's actually like the sun is rising now.
Yeah, just FYI.
Okay. So
And when we almost get to them, like where I heard where he was or whatever, I'm gonna cast Disguise Self on myself.
Okay.
And look like Frederick when he was bathing.
That's awesome. He'll fix a fight with a naked guy.
Exactly.
Like, really? That's
Okay.
fucking awesome.
So the one guy, the guy sees the wagon. One of them sees the wagon coming, and he says, "Oh, there they are. Let's go get them." And they start running through some heavy brush. You can hear them coming, and you cast your spell. The one hears you casting the spell, and he says, "Watch out! There's one of them's a magician." And they run around this bush line to confront you, and they all have just these short swords and shields out. And then when they come around the corner, they obviously encounter you in Frederick's form. The wagon is still walking behind you, and you're still walking. So they just see this very muscular man and his huge slung. And they're like, they stop, and they're like, "What the three of them failed their kind of mental stat that I gave them, and they are kind of just in awe, like, what the hell?" They're just examining you, and they're kind of just starstruck. But the one of them says, "Halt! We're here to take your stuff."
Suki will stop, swing around, plant her legs as far apart as she can, and put her hands on her hips and be like, "What seems to be the problem, gentlemen?"
I can't even. I don't know. I can't deal with it.
Just roll me a charisma check. I'll make them do a will save.
Just straight charisma.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 19.
So the two of them are like this. He's like this. This isn't part what I was expecting, man. And the one of them, the one guy, the really obnoxious, loud guy, he's like, "Oh my god!" And he gets a nosebleed. You rolled a 1.
Suki just winks at that guy.
He's just gonna like pass out. He just collapses on the ground.
I had the strangest dream.
And the one guy's like, "What the hell?" And the one who's actually keeping himself composed, he's like, "Look, that's not gonna work on us. We're here to rob you." And he points his blade at you, and the other two are kind of like, "Yeah." And they look at the other one, and he's like, "Yeah, he's new."
And she'll just look back at them and be like, "You can't rob me of that. It's already been given away."
Do you want to like roll intimidation or?
Sure.
Intimidation.
I don't get a great bonus on that, unfortunately. 15.
Okay.
Throw out that other crit fail.
Okay. So the one of the guys, he's like, "I can't do this, man," and he just starts running away. The other one who was kind of like nervous about you, he's like, "Look, you won't scare me that easy," and he holds up his weapon, and he's not intimidated. The one who's been steadfast this whole time, he's got his weapon drawn. He's like, "I'm not scared of you."
Has Frederick come out and seen any of this yet, or is he still just behind the wagon?
He's just kind of pissed. Like
Okay.
he looks. He doesn't. I'll do their reactions first.
Okay.
The one that passed out, he's like starts waking up and he sees you like in this pose, trying to like act super masculine in front of him.
And it's working.
And it's working. He's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave now and not die. He gets up and he awkwardly like covers himself and walks away.
There's only one wound he could get.
And the other two are just like getting a little nervous because the other two ran away. Frederick is like, "What the hell is going on back here? Why are we stopped?" And he looks back and he's like looking at himself, his own ass cheeks. He's like, "What the fuck?" So he just walks over to you and he examines himself. And he's like, "Well, I can see why everyone else is jealous." And he kind of looks over to the bandits. And now they obviously see two of themselves, except one of them's closed and one of them's not, taking this fucking abrasive stance.
Do they have wooden shields as well?
They have wooden shields, yeah.
So Neri would wait for a moment where Suki tries to be like very intimidating, and the moment she does that, she would cast spark on a shield, like to boost that. Can I do that? It's like 30 feet distance.
Oops. I don't know if they can. It's has to be an unattended object.
It's
So-
that just fine. I didn't know what one fine object. I mean, I can't think of many fine objects.
It's you can make an unattended fine flammable object.
What
That's
is
on fire.
unattended? What does that mean? Does
It
that mean
means
like
that
no one
if-
looks at it?
Nobody's keeping an eye on it. Nobody's holding the object.
Oh, and so no one is looking at it too?
Well, they will see it and then they'll just put it out.
Okay. Well, can I do that on like some sticks on their feet then? Get some smoke going.
Yeah, you can, but like I said, they'll put it out.
Well, that's fine. I'll just underline the intimidation of this act.
Okay, so you're just. What was your intimidation roll again?
It was only 15.
Can I add to that? Because I have intimidation 11.
Well,
Oh, 7.
your intimidation was 15. So, yeah, you add +3. So, well, you're kind of late, but roll me a new intimidation check.
I didn't want to interrupt. It was going so well.
Roll me a new intimidation check and add 3 to it.
Intimidate. So, 2, 3, 25.
So, wow.
I just like slap my ass cheek and be like, sorry for being cheeky.
I'm dying.
The guy who's been keeping himself composed this entire time, he can't deal with it anymore. He's like, fuck this shit. I don't get paid enough for this. And the other guy, although not intimidated, he doesn't want to be alone right now. So he's like, yeah, bye. And they run away. And then the one guy runs away like immediately, but the other one's like, he's like, when you show him his Frederick's cheeks, he's like, the fuck? And then he realizes that there's some sort of spark underneath him. He's like, what the fuck? And he puts it out.
It's getting hot in here.
He's like, what kind of, like, I don't know who you are, but you'll pay for this. And he runs away.
You defeated bandits with another guy's dick.
And the guy who's running away, he's like, he has butt magic.
I twerk a little bit at him.
Frederick's like, okay, that's enough.
Do the helicopter.
Well. So
Okay, I'm done.
Frederick he just lowers his head and he goes back behind the wagon. He says, hopefully they know the difference.
Neri will go around and like try to high five Suki Frederick. And then she's gonna play with the stick.
Oh, it's not actually there. So.
I know, she's just gonna try to flap it, but it doesn't work.
You slap it and you feel this cloth hanging there.
Aw, that's disappointing.
Wow. So
How you expected this adventure to go?
wow. That's what happened. You defeated them with butt magic. So you guys get 533 experience from defeating the bandits. And I'll actually round that up to 600 because you defeated them without fighting.
Defeated them.
You turned that poor guy gay, by the way.
It wasn't that difficult.
I mean, if that turned him gay, then he had the spark in him already.
He's just gullible, okay?
Don't be surprised if when you get back to the Adventures Nexus, there's like a cult to his dick. Suki will just start like drawing pictures of it on random walls and shit. That'd be great. With the little caption that it's that this is actual size.
Oh my god! All hail butt magic.
Yep.
What the fuck? Okay, so you guys head back to town. The disguise self doesn't last long enough for you to get to town and still be naked.
No. It's like 20 minutes.
So you arrive and at the designated spot, which is actually it's a stone structure and it looks very magical in nature, but but it just looks like an old folks home. So the building you arrive at, Sandra, is just this old folks home, really. It's a magical place and they are full of like mages, but all these mages are old and they're so far out of practice that they do still use magic, but as you can see, it's just for minor things and to keep the farms in check and to do the occasional warding, which you've encountered the wards before. It protects land.
Okay.
So you arrive, and of course, the three of them are there. And the three mages that you talked to before, they kind of wave to you. They're all elderly and gnarled, and they have to use a cane to get by. And
I'll help them.
The only one that is there is just this young man, about 17 years old. He seems to be representing the crazy senile one.
Yeah. Hello, dear animate statues, gentlemen. Good sir, young boy. We're back. We brought you stuff.
Thanks you. It's very nice of you to go out of your way to get all this stuff. And he says, "Do you mind if we inspect what you brought us?"
No, not at all. Please go ahead. And she like steps away from the wagon.
And they're having the one who's talking to you, and the other two just kind of sit down on this walking bench. And the other one walks over to you and then moves over and investigates They don't see it yet. They'll see it later. So they walk over because he's facing them and his shield's on his back.
Ow.
So he's looking over everything. He's like, "Holy, that's a brown bear. I only asked for 100, but you brought nearly 200. That's useful."
We figured you were hungry.
He says, "We'll have to use our magic on it, but it should prove to be still delicious." And he's looking over everything over, and he says, "That is a lot of firewood. I mean, lumber." And he looks over the decanter, and he says, "Oh, that thing is full." And you see him actually like slapping it with his staff, and it doesn't fall over. And he says, "All right, everything seems to be in order." And he taps his staff against the wagon, and you can see that it starts floating off the ground, and then it just vanishes, and the horse is just left there. And he says, "Now, everything was there, just as intended. Young one, can you go and get the reward? And he says, yes, thank you. And he runs away back into the stone building. And so you arrive. He looks to the horse, and the horse looks at him, and the horse gets a little nervous, and he says, "Go back to where you came from." And the horse actually becomes very ghostly, and then just runs away back into the ground.
In the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Just
weird.
Ground.
That's an odd horse. I thought horses were like walking on the ground, not underneath it. This is an earth horse.
No. It's a ghost horse.
Oh, didn't look like a ghost to me. Oh well. I guess you learn something new every day.
The young man comes out, and he has this gold encrusted chest, one that Amara would be used to. Actually, you were all there for the Elstradi mission last time, so you all know what this recognize this immediately.
I didn't
And-
see Amara on
No,
Pack.
Amara knows what this chest looks like, but I forgot you guys, all the group here, except for Frederick, knows what this chest looks like.
Yeah.
Although Amara would recognize it as something the summoner gives out, you two would only recognize it as something that Elstradi gives out. So this young mage brings out this chest, and it's gold encrusted and made of very fine craft. And he puts it down in front of you, and he says, "There you go, just as promised."
Oh, it's the magic box.
Frederick
that just a
scratches his
chest?
head. He's like, "Magic box."
You put your hand in and you get something great.
That's normally how chests work.
That's how other things work too.
What things?
You know, there's plenty.
Oh, like food.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Frederick just shakes his head and he says, "Well, something you can eat, that's for sure."
Oh my god.
Finally, the joke's not on Frederick. Now it's
Okay.
So the mage is just standing there, and he offers the chest to you. He doesn't hold it though; he just puts it on the ground in front of you.
I'll open it.
Okay, so you open it, and all of you kind of look into it, and you see that this flowing spatial energy, kind of like paint, just swirling around in there.
Oh, is it empty?
It appears like there's a night sky in there.
Put your
Oh.
hand in, Neri.
Well, she like puts like half her forearm in there.
Okay, you stick basically your arm in there, basically, and
Yes.
you feel your hand just make contact with this wooden object. You feel around it, and it feels like this lockbox.
I think this is a chest in a chest. And can I pull it out?
You pull it out, and it's, as you felt, it's a lockbox. Do you open that one?
Well, can I? Or is it locked?
It's
It's a lockbox, so I don't know.
not locked. It's not locked.
Okay, well then I'll open the unlocked lockbox.
All right. Inside, there's 40 platinum pieces,
Okay.
and that is actually what everyone will get. So it's 40 platinum pieces for everyone.
How much is platinum and gold?
In Pathfinder?
Yeah.
I think it's 1 to 50 from platinum to gold.
Okay. So that would be 2,000 gold.
Perhaps. Oh no, it's 10. It's 10 to 1 to 10. So it's
Okay.
one
400.
platinum to 10. Good. And the young man, once you reach in and pull out all your platinum pieces, he puts it back in his. He closes the chest for you, and he runs away with it.
Oh, that was odd. Why would anyone run away with this? But I'll take those coins.
Can I try to trip him as he's running away?
That's very hostile of you. Yes, you can.
Right.
Roll a trip attempt. The CMD isn't that high.
What do I add to that?
You can use strength.
So okay, so that is 19.
Yep. So he's like, all right, I'll take this away, and he picks it up and he turns around and you trip him and he fucking falls, smashes his face off the chest, and he's like, ah.
And she'll go up to him and be like, "Oh my goodness, I don't know why Frederick would have done that. Are you okay there?" Oh, and she'll cast Cure Wounds on him, or Cure Light Wounds.
Okay.
Neri looks at Frederick like almost disappointed because she believes her.
Okay. Well, roll me a D3.
A D3?
Yeah, plus your strength.
I don't have a D3. Like D6 or
Yeah,
something?
1, 2 is 1, 3, 4 is 2, 5, 6 is 3.
Okay. So I got a 3, so that's 2, right?
Plus your strength.
Oh, plus my strength. So that's 7.
So you kind of just trip him and he smashes his face. It doesn't look pretty hard to you, but for people who aren't elites and who are just commoners in training, he falls and basically smashes his nose in and lies on the ground. He's like, and he's unconscious.
Oh my god.
And the old people are like, wow.
Wow, Frederick. How dare you?
Frederick's like, he's not even standing anywhere near him. He's like 10 feet away. He's like, what?
He has that lucerne, man.
He doesn't have it out.
He's very quick and nimble. He heals 7, by the way.
So he's back to being conscious. And he's like, oh, why?
"Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I don't know why Frederick's had a bad night. Don't hold it against him. He's, there was a lot of people looking at his dick earlier, and I think it made him a little self-conscious, and he just had to lash out. I'm terribly sorry. It won't happen again."
The 3 old people are like, don't listen to her. Just get back to moving the chest along, please. And they sit on the animate bench. And the apprentice is like, oh, my face. And he gets up, grabs the chest, and runs off with it.
No.
And that's the adventure. So he says, that's all you had to do for us. Thank you for your hard work.
Oh, you said earlier that you need like this wood. You just said firewood, and then you said lumber again, as if you tried to hide something. But I heard that, and I wanted to know: do you need this lit?
What do you plan on lighting?
The wood that we brought, not Frederick.
They teleported the wagon away. It vanished.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, you can teleport me there too. I light it and teleport me back.
He said, no.
Okay, I'm just trying. Thank you so much for this trial, and I hope we served a good deed to
He
your.
says, this should last us until the kobolds get themselves organized.
All right.
Don't worry, Neri. They're just being rude and not inviting us to dinner, even though we got all of their food and what they're going to cook it with and all the seasonings that they're putting on it.
This was like for them. Dude. I thought they were like building something or really needing it.
We do really need it. It's called We Have to Live.
Oh yeah, I know. I thought like you were basically like, I don't know, make like weapons or armor. I don't know what you really do, what armor you would make out of a bear. Maybe the hide, I don't know how to use that, but you wanted the meat. I don't know. I have not thought about this.
We found out earlier that a bare ass is a pretty good weapon.
Butt magic. What else but magic?
The other old man says, well, we would invite you in, but we don't want you to eat everything. Also, your one friend has proven to be quite the trickster.
We just can't take Frederick anywhere, I know.
Well, but at least I think we got of course that, and Frederick's clean now. So
no, he's dirty again. He was pushing that cart. He is dirty as shit again.
But he doesn't smell as bad. I mean, I don't know when he showered last, but that was necessary.
He's getting so frustrated. He's like, you were there.
It's all right. We're just joking, Frederick. We're just joking.
He shakes his head and he's like, I'm going to go to the gate. See you guys later.
As he walks away, I cast dancing lights. So there's two globes of light and they're just behind his ass. And as he walks, they sort of swing with him. I'm sorry.
I guess that's another case of butt magic.
So he's just walking away with these lights. People are trying to get to work and stuff, and they're like, "What the hell?"
They're looking behind him at his ass, and then they can look up and look at his shield.
Please, let the gay dude be there. The abandoned dude.
So the three older people are like, that's fucking hilarious.
Is she gonna go for a high five with them?
Okay, it's not much of a high five because they can't really put much force behind it, but they do end up just kind of putting your hand against theirs.
She'll make the sound of a high five. She'll be like,
that's a little awkward.
Yep. She's gonna do it. She committed.
The other, so you clap with the old man, then you clap with the old woman, and then you clap with the last old man, and make me a Constitution or a Fortitude saving throw.
It's only 13.
So you're like, all right, last one, and you clap his hands, and you just hear this thunderous noise, and it just blares around you, and you are deafened.
Oh, you didn't want to do that, because now that she's completely deafened, she's just going to be screaming everything because she can't hear herself. So she has no low volume.
The only person bothered by it is Neri, because now she's shouting, and the old people are now hearing you guys at a normal level.
Well, Neri's gonna wrap her tail around Suki, and start dragging her off towards the gate. It's like, all right, let's get going.
This is so much fun, Mary.
You don't need to shout at me. I can hear you just fine.
It just lasts a
Why are
minute.
you talking to me?
My doorbell rang. I'll be right back.
So it just lasts a minute.
Okay.
So you arrive at the gate, and the cavalier can hear you shouting from across town. As you approach the gate, the deafen kind of wears off, and you're just speaking regularly again. And Jeff is on his fucking horse. And he's like, so I'm assuming by all the screaming that it was a total success.
It definitely was.
Well,
Did you happen to see Frederick come through here?
Frederick is actually right there. And he kind of
Oh, okay.
points. And he's leaning against the fucking the gate, the side of the gate, and he's hiding his butt.
Come on, Frederick. You got to show off your best assets.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
What? What happened?
So
We got to the gate, and Frederick's just chilling there, hiding his butt.
Are you still like screaming around?
No, it wore off just as
Oh.
we got there, essentially.
Could I have lifted her with my tail and just dragged her around behind me?
I don't know, how much does Sukiyo weigh?
About 100 pounds. She's just little.
Yeah, so it's just a light load.
That's really cool. I would have done that. Just carried you behind me, like while you were screaming around on the way. I'm like, it's fine. It's all right.
She'll sort of put her arms out like she's flying.
Oh my god, best adventurers ever.
Repping the Nexus. Oh yeah.
So how much experience did I give you guys?
We got 600 from the last fight, and I think
4 from the bear.
yeah,
so 1,000.
1,000. Yeah.
And I'll give you guys an extra 300 for the completion, for the gathering of materials. And so you guys eventually, after some nuanced roleplay, go through the gate, and Jeff is sending his report to Pennyworth. You return to Pennyworth and you tell him about your recent success. And he's like, so it was too easy for you?
I think it was just right.
Frederick really nailed this mission.
Yes.
He just sighs and he's like, in some ways more than one way.
Wait, what?
Pennyworth looks at the three of you.
What does that mean?
Oh, come on, Frederick. Just turn the other cheek.
Frederick just shakes his head and walks away.
Don't forget your shower.
Pennyworth is now looking at you two and he's like, did you...
Yep.
What did you do?
Oh.
Suki's just gonna like put a thumb behind her and sort of point to his shield as he's walking away.
Oh,
yeah, right.
That's not
shield.
there anymore. He scrubbed that clean.
Oh, he did find it out?
Jeff told him.
Aw.
God damn it, Jeff.
Fucking Jeff.
Definitely not an awkward conversation between them.
It's okay. I still remember it.
So
Yeah, I saw it too. Well, when did I see it? I'm pretty sure I would have commented on it, but never mind.
you have seen it when he was walking away towards the gate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Well.
with the globes of lead on his
Oh,
side.
when you were high fiving. That's right.
Yeah.
Nice new shield that you got there. And it's lit up because like of the dancing lights. Funny.
All right. So with that, the adventure is over. So 1,300 experience, 40 platinum pieces, and no magical items for this time. For this round, you guys gain 1 fame counter, which should bring you guys to 26 and 27.
Yep.
So unless there's anything you guys want to do in the Nexus,
Oh no, I can't do that. I don't have enough money. Fuck.
Well, you got a bunch of platinum now.
Yeah, that's only 400 gold though. Well, if you give me all your platinum, I can get my flights permit.
I'll invite Neri to come and help Macru be my like front man trying to bring people in while I tell their fortunes.
Oh, she would definitely do that. She doesn't really have a hobby or anything. So she will definitely do that. And she will do the haunted face back thing, but not as scary anymore. And she's like, come in and find out what you'll find out about your future.
You can get a cut of the profits. It'll be great.
That's awesome.
all right. So I'll need Macro and Neri to roll diplomacy.
I'm not that bad at diplomacy. So here we go. That's 16. I only rolled a 9.
He rolled a 20, dirty 20.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll.
Oh, and Makaru and Neri can speak Draconic together.
Yep.
Oh, they would do that too. Like they would put a show in like different languages and shit.
So 18 people stop by to get their fortunes told. Roll me a bluff check.
Oh. Oh.
Oh God.
All right, let me double check my bluff. That's 28.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
It was a low roll too.
No way.
Because I have the cards and I'm using them to like tarot read, right? Because I've got the deck of minor deception, so that gives me a +4 to my bluff, right?
That's awesome.
So I can just like use sense motive and perception to get enough information about them to give them like a fortune and just like
awesome.
pull whatever card I want.
Oh my god, is there someone that looks like especially rich?
Well, you're all adventurers or interdimensional travelers, so you assume that they have at least a minor amount of gold on them.
So, can you use spell scrolls? Can Suki use spell scrolls?
Is there a thing that I need to have? Like I have spellcraft. I don't have use magic device as like a trained skill or anything though. So I don't know if that makes a difference.
But you can just cast magic, right?
You can use either or.
Okay.
If you're a caster, you don't need to use magic device. You can use your spellcraft.
Okay.
If you're an oracle, you can cast, as long as you're able to cast oracle cleric spells that the scroll that already has it, then you don't need to make a spellcraft or use magic device check. But if it's higher level than you, then you do.
Okay.
If you were a non-casting class trying to use a scroll, then you can only use magic device.
Oh, okay.
Because I have this spell scroll that's called discern, whatever, next of kin, which reveals like information about like their living relatives and all that kind of
Oh my god.
So if there's someone that is like really, really wealthy looking, I would offer you the spell scroll so you can use it.
Oh my god, we're gonna be so like we're the worst. I love it.
All right.
Well,
so
it's not necessarily an evil thing. I mean, people want to inquire and they believe it. I don't know.
No, we're con artists. This is great. I love it.
So actually, this is a very profitable day, as it turns out that a lot of people are kind of falling for your con, and just a general. Some people don't believe you, but a lot of people really fall for your cunning deception, and you manage to, as an average, you manage to get 20 gold per customer.
Whew.
And there were 18, you said?
Yeah, so you make 360 gold pieces from these admittedly desperate people looking for answers.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Roll me another. Are you trying to become popular? Or are you trying to stay small?
She's just having fun for the most part, but like if she becomes popular, it's entirely cool with her. She's trying to get Macru to make, like a really nice because he's got weaving and craft making and stuff. So she's trying to get him to make like a nice stand and stuff like that, and maybe even get like
merchandise.
yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Roll me performance.
I like this dice today. So that's 33. Because I rolled a natural 20.
Your name is going around like fucking wildfire. And the perk of it is that next time you do this, there's going to be double the amount of customers that show up. Though I will metagame a bit and say that you have you're about to get the attention of the magical community.
Okay.
And yeah, so you earned 360 gold from these customers today, and they really were sold on your performance.
Awesome. And I will split the money with Neri for her help. And I will also give some of the money to Macru because he also deserves some.
Okay.
Just let me know how much you give me.
I'm going to give you 160. And then Macru is going to get 20. And then I'll take the other 180.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That was fun. Did you use the spell scroll? I'll just keep it for now.
Yeah, you can keep it for now. I think my performance is good enough.
Okay.
But that was an awesome idea. If we ever go for like one big target, we're definitely using that.
Yep. I thought that's like really role play heavy. That's really awesome. You can do a lot with that. Mind fuckery. And there it is. The butt magic is at it again.
All
well,
right.
that was fun. And I think I level up, right? I'm not sure though. Let me see. Unless we have a different level table.
Well, I'll end the broadcast here. So thank you two for playing, and hopefully we'll see you later.
Thank you for running.
Thank you.